Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the project investigation collaboration brought to you by the Veritas Project. And always, we are here with our gracious host and founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Wikibob Curtis.
Hello.
And I am lead investigator, Investigator Todd Boyer, and welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back.
This is Deja Vu. The translation of Deja Vu is already seen, so we have already seen this. This is our third attempt at recording the podcast.
This was cursed.
Our first attempt, we had zero video whatsoever. Yep. Our second attempt, we started it with this camera, the camera that we always use, and the camera failed after our first subject.
Yeah, the battery went dead. And
then we did OBS, and as Bob was going to edit it, the audio got out of sync.
Yep.
He managed to resync it, but then
it went out
10 minutes later, it went out of sync again. So here we are re-recording on the camera that we know works as long as the battery stays good. And it says battery is 100%, so we should be
100%.
Good to go tonight. So here we are, a day late. When do you think you'll edit to get this out there? Because normally this is out on Monday. It's usually out today. Today is Monday.
I've already started building it, so I already have everything except this asset.
Yeah, I was going to say you should have all the assets. You downloaded all the assets to do it yesterday.
And I already had it like 75% built already. So all I'll have to do is just drop this in there and then move everything over to the new timestamp. So it should be out probably tomorrow morning.
Right on.
I have like maybe an hour in the morning before. So I should be.
Well, it usually takes you an hour and a half, and that's if you have to do everything.
Yeah.
So you should be able to knock this out pretty quick, and get it underway.
I feel like the beginning of Bob's Burgers, where they're like the reopening and the reopening and the reopening. Like that's how this episode has been.
It has. We're going over the same thing. We'll read the same thing 3 times, and I'm sure I'll screw up on the same words every time again. Yeah. So, in home front news, our podcast that we did on the Book of Oberon is just crushing it.
Right there at viral.
Russian,
For us, it is viral.
For us, it is viral. Yeah. It has become the number one podcast that we've put out by over 1,000 views.
Yeah.
Currently at over 1,000 views. It is still climbing. We have also we were kind of stagnant there at like 6.48K subscribers.
Yeah.
We've been stagnant for a long time.
We would pick up 2, lose 2, pick up 2, lose 2. We did that zigzag for a long time.
So now we are just under 8,000.
Yeah, just under 8,000. Can you imagine? That's unthinkable for us.
In 2 weeks, we've gone up almost 1,500 new subscribers. In literally, today is 15 days.
Yeah.
So we are getting out there. People are seeing us. And I've noticed that I started scrolling back through some of our other stuff, and we've got a lot of stuff that's getting more hits.
Yeah.
Even our older stuff, people are going back and watching our older podcasts. So we are on a rise, guys. We're on our way to that silver play button.
Right.
That's like our goal, that silver play button.
We get that silver play button. We hit our 4,000 watch hours, and we can get monetized.
Which you told me this afternoon, even that we were at like 500 something watch
like
hours.
522
watch hours for today, which is astronomical for us.
It's
that's like
crazy
over 300 more than we normally have.
Yeah.
For the month.
We usually just tease 300. We usually get like 290 something. So 500 is like
that's big for us. That's double our watch hours almost, and it's still climbing. Even though today is the last day, so it will reset.
Right.
We'll reset tomorrow, for counting as a month, but we're climbing like crazy, and
the algorithm won't hold it either. So that video will fall out of the FYP, and then we'll see how much traction it gets when it's not in people's For You pages.
Right. So, but hopefully all those new subscribers will continue to watch.
Yeah.
And we even had some people that I had to translate the comments that were saying thank you and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Somebody from the Philippines.
So this week we're going to talk about the different types of theories of energy, different cultures of body energy. I know we talked about energy healing before.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about the different types of energy like I said, from different cultures. And the way it relates to us in the paranormal is energy cannot be destroyed, only change forms. So that's Bob and I's one of our big theories is when you pass, your energy becomes that ghost or that, haunting.
It comes loose from your corporeal body, and then it's just on its own.
It's there. It's doing its own thing.
Doing its own stuff.
And that makes me wonder, because if your energy leaves your body, are they choosing to stay, or is it something that's caught in their mind that they have to stay in because of whatever happened?
Right.
You know what I mean? So are they, because if the one theory is like, especially with astral projection, that you have that tether, and we talked about this the first time we recorded.
Yeah.
And you told me something I didn't know.
The silver thread.
Yep, the silver thread, and that the death comes and he cuts the silver thread with his scythe.
Yeah.
That was something I didn't know. But, here's the thing. Now that you can travel, hypothetically, the universe, why would people choose to stay? Do you think that people just don't want to let go of their families? Or do you
unfinished business, or they're just angry about something, or,
let it...
They, wanted to have that last communication, or whatever it was,
Or it could be an echo of their energy.
Yeah, or it could be, imprinted on the environment.
So, which we talk about a lot, hauntings, that are in emotional places.
Residual. Yeah.
So, maybe people are just drawn to that energy and don't... Maybe people are, I don't want to say, more fearful to go out on their own, whereas you and I, you'd be like, let's go. What galaxy do we want to go to? We want to see everything, where there's other people who would be like, no, I want to stay here where it's safe.
Yeah.
Right. So... All right, so let's dig into these. We have 10 of them, and they all a lot of them kind of cross over with the same beliefs, so we're going to kind of chop them down a little bit. So we're going to start off with Qi energy, which is the traditional Chinese energy belief, and that works on that Qi is the vital life force, right, that flows through all living beings, and it moves through meridians, energy channels in the body. And acupuncture and Tai Chi and Qigong help regulate and balance the Qi. And you were even saying that with acupuncture, they even warm the needles.
Yeah, they'll set the little piece of paper on fire on top of the needle to help channel that energy through that point. It's really cool.
So blockages and imbalance lead to illness and disharmony. Yin and yang are the opposing forces of the universe, and they govern the Qi balance. Yeah. And Qi can be cultivated through breath work and meditation, food, air, environment, those all affect it. They also has to do with Feng Shui. And Feng Shui is how your house is actually set up, and where your furniture is in your house affects the flow of energy through your house and the flow of energy through your body. So
that's kind of crazy.
That's a big one. And sometimes you'll see these Feng Shui, and people have, their rooms will be set up all kinds of crazy.
Yeah, like a plant right in front of the door. You walk in there, it's like, why is this plant here? You got to walk around it.
Yeah, but it has to do with the flow and how the energy flows around the room, to do with the windows and the size of the furniture and the shape of the room and all that kind of stuff. The next we have prana, which is Hindu, and it also goes along with yoga. Right. Prana, obviously, cosmic life force for living beings, and it moves through nadis, which are energy channels, right? Just kind of like Feng Shui, the Qi does. Yeah. But we have 7 chakras that regulate prana flow, and pranayama, which is breath control, enhances that prana energy. And food and breath and sunlight are the factors that deal with prana on this side. And imbalances lead to mental and physical ailments, just like in Qi energy. And meditation and yoga harmonize prana within the body. Kundalini energy, which we talked about in our Healing Life Forces podcast a while back, is a dormant form of prana, and it can awaken spiritual power. And different types of prana serve various functions. So Ayurveda uses prana to diagnose and heal diseases. Yeah. So kind of the same as Qi, but there's other aspects that go with it, like different things affect it, like not so much the environment, but yoga and the stretching of the body and the relaxing of the muscles help the prana flow and the deep breaths and all that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Kind of like a cleansing of the body and being in good physical condition help that along. So mana, this is my favorite. Bob and I always get a giggle out of this because, in all the video games out there, mana is what they use for casting spells.
Right, for magic.
So mana, of course, is believed the supernatural force, and this one comes from Polynesia and Hawaii. So it can be gained and lost and transferred through actions. So if you have strong mana, it signifies spiritual power and influence. And it's sacred places like volcanoes and temples, they hold potential mana, and they can be kind of used like a battery. Now, taboos protect mana from corruption, which is kind of like an opposite thing.
Yeah.
Hawaiian healing practices restore lost mana. Warriors and chiefs are believed to possess the highest amounts of mana. And the thing I like about this one is acts of kindness, and respect increase your mana. So being a better person increases your life force energy. And negative actions will actually deplete that life force energy. That's why I like this one.
That's kind of cool, right?
It's kind of, it's like do good things, and you get the good energy. So, and then you could also have like objects like heirlooms and things given to you by your ancestors that can hold their ancestral mana.
Right.
And can be passed on to you.
Well, that's kind of cool.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's one of my favorites. Orgone energy. And this was Wilhelm Reich.
Yeah.
And it's a universal force that pervades everything, kind of like the force in Star Wars. Everything's got the energy, right? And it can be accumulated using special devices known as orgone accumulators. And we were talking about orgone accumulators.
Yeah. We're talking about Scientology and the tuning that they do. Yeah, they have a device that they hold onto these two metal cylinders and they try to move the needle into the middle using their mind. It's a tuning thing that they do.
And once again, with this energy, imbalance causes emotional and physical disorders. And Reich claimed orgone energy could influence the weather even.
Right.
And, this is, of course, suppressed by mainstream media, but studied by fringe researchers, which... Scientology.
There you go.
Linked to libido and creative power and thought to be harnessed for healing and mental clarity. Yeah. Some believe it neutralizes negative electromagnetic radiation, and it's controversial due to the government crackdown on Reich's work. New Age movements use orgone devices for protection. Yeah. And we discussed this before when we recorded the podcast twice before already, that a lot of this stuff was taught prior to prior to the school system being changed up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things that were taught, like the ether, which we'll get to here in a few minutes, and different types of body energy and that kind of stuff. And everything that Nikola Tesla was talking about all got changed into, all got taken out of learning.
Yeah.
And it just was, this is the hard science that we know of. This is what we're going to teach you. You're not going to teach you any theories of anything else.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. And unfortunately, a lot of this went away, except for fringe groups, so to speak. Right. So, the next is Odic force, and that's Carl von Reichenbach. A subtle energy field emitted by living beings, similar to chi, prana, and other life forces, said to be visible to sensitive individuals in darkness. This one falls more on the aura category.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So, I think this one best describes the way aura energy works, or maybe this is the example of aura energy.
Yeah.
So it's found in plants, animals, even minerals, and thought to influence hypnosis and mesmerism. Allegedly interacts with the Earth's magnetic field. Hands-on healing methods claim to manipulate odic force, and some equate it with the modern concept of biofields, largely dismissed by mainstream science.
Yeah.
So the biofields, that's pretty much aura.
Right. And you could, they thought with biofields that you could diagnose ailments using the biofields. So they would take an image of somebody and be like, okay, so there's something like their arm isn't glowing in the biofield. So
I just noticed we're missing a light. We're missing two lights, actually.
Yeah.
That one. Oh,
well. We got to pause right there. So
we'll take a technical break of 2 seconds here. Turn on our two lights that we're missing.
All that, I was looking at the camera and I'm like, why is it dark?
Why is it so dark on Bob's side over there?
It's all dark right here. I'm like, why is that?
We just kind of came in and got down to business because, when you guys watch this, we normally record them while we're live on TikTok, but we've already recorded it twice live on TikTok.
So we don't need to.
So we didn't want to bother with TikTok again. We're like, nobody wants to come in and watch the same thing 3 times in a row.
I feel bad for the hardcore watchers that actually watched it twice already.
Yeah, we have our fans that come in and watch every TikTok that we do, and we feel bad for them. So we decided to skip it this week. So
there you go.
Number 6, we have Vril energy, which is esoteric and occult. Mm-hmm. So described as potential life force by Edward Bulwer Lytton, and it's believed to be an advanced energy source used by ancient civilizations. Also associated with the German political party in World War II.
There you go.
Thought to grant psychic ability and superior strength. Some link it to Kundalini energy or Chi, and it's used in esoteric healing and meditation, considered a cosmic force beyond material understanding, and supposedly harnessed by secret societies. Some believe it even fuels UFO technology in theory.
Right.
And no scientists backing, but it remains a powerful myth. And we've talked about this several different times on several of the podcasts, that the Germans in World War II were into some way out there stuff.
Crazy theories.
That's why you get these movies like the German moon base on Mars and or on the moon or whatever, because they were after the Ark of the Covenant, and they were trying
the Spear of Longinus.
Like
they were like everything.
Into everything. Yeah. Everything that they thought that could give them any kind of advantage, they were going down those rabbit holes. They had special groups set up to chase after, religious fringe artifacts, mainstream artifacts, even, religious artifacts. And that's one of the rabbit holes that they went way down. And you were even talking, when we talked about this before, about Area 51, the craft.
The recovered aircraft from or spacecraft from the Roswell crash didn't have flight controls in it. It had like metal beams, and it had chairs in it, but there was no like stick or throttle or anything to fly it, and they had no idea what. But now they think what happened was the spacesuits that the visitors were wearing had some kind of energy transference thing, and they flew it mentally.
That's good eating right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the third eye, Ajna chakra, Hindu and Buddhist tradition, represents inner vision and heightened perception, and linked to the pineal gland in modern theories. Right up there.
That we talk about a lot.
Yep. Activating it enhances intuition, spiritual insight, controlled by the Ajna chakra, located in the forehead. Meditation, fasting, and certain sounds awaken it. That's like the bowls,
little singing bowls,
singing bowls,
little tuning forks.
Yep. Those will awaken that third eye, said to reveal hidden dimensions and truths associated with psychic abilities and clairvoyance, and many believe fluoride calcifies the pineal gland, used in esoteric tradition for enlightenment, and some say ancient cultures depicted it symbolically.
Right.
So with as far as the fluoride, they're actually starting to pull back on that.
Yeah, not as much.
So they're trying to get rid of some of the fluoride because they realize it's a forever mineral, and they're trying to get it out of the body. Now, growing up as Gen X,
we were painted in that stuff.
We had to rinse our mouths with fluoride every week. And stuff was disgusting. Get a little paper cup and you swish it for 30 seconds, you spit it back in the cup.
Ugh.
And
it's gross.
The water,
I can still taste it.
I know the water. Yeah, you made me. Just me thinking about that, I could taste it.
Yeah.
So can taste a memory. That's
pink
pretty
slime.
bad. Yours was pink. Ours was blue.
Ours
was blue.
Ours was pink, and it made your mouth like bright red.
Really?
And if you brushed your teeth, then it would disappear.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Gotcha. No, this was a blue liquid that came in we had a little white cup, and you put it in your mouth and swished it and spit it out. And I think our water was even high fluoride, because I actually have dentists told me I have fluoride staining on my 2 front teeth. So it'll never go away.
Damn it, grade school.
But I think this was also, we've had this discussion before about how maybe they started using the fluoride to keep us ignorant of what's going on around us. Keep us from being enlightened.
Docile, good little factory workers.
Yep, exactly. So the Sekhem energy, which is the ancient Egyptian mysticism, represents divine power and vital force, and linked to the goddess Sekhmet. And that's one of the gods that a lot of people don't know about. Sekhmet is about knowledge and war.
Right.
Most people learn about Ra and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't learn about like Sekhmet and a bunch of the others. There was actually a lot of Egyptian gods.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny, Robin, who's our moderator, we just started playing D&D, and she's playing a paladin, and her deity is Sekhmet.
Nice.
And it's funny that this came up. And so I told her whenever she uses her divine smite that she has to yell in the name of Sekhmet, I smite thee. So I made her do it the other night when she smited a mimic.
Nice.
So I'm like, no, you got to say it. So. But used in spiritual healing and temple rituals, and it's considered similar to Reiki energy. Practitioners channel Sekhmet for physical and emotional healing. Ancient Egyptians believed it sustained the soul, and pharaohs were thought to be wielders of great Sekhem. Found in hieroglyphic inscriptions, modern healers integrate Sekhem with energy work, and some see it as a precursor to other life force theories. So, well, obviously, and I'm willing to bet that it comes from the pre-Egyptians that we always talk about. You know, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
They had a weapon that was shaped like an ankh, right? And they're like, he wields the Sekhem like Veritas, boy. You better listen. Bring down the lightning on you.
I mean, like, so could you imagine if there were energy weapons out there that simply used your life force to be able to wield it, you know, to send that energy out? It amplified your life force and sent it out. Like, I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, because we've had the discussion before, how many times, you know, how old the Earth is, how many times has the Earth risen and fell, and society wiped itself out, and then come back and wiped itself out and come back. So,
well, there are in the Aztec culture, there are carvings on the walls of computers, and the computers are biological, so they would grow this thing, and then it would perform tasks for them, and it was like a plant. And that's on a carving that's, you know, hundreds of years. And people didn't realize that until the 60s or 70s what that was. And they thought, I don't know what this is. And then finally it clicked when they were putting their punch cards in the machine over and over again. They're like, wait a minute, that's what this is. This computer is that thing.
Right.
So they made that connection. And now we look at it like it's an actual PC that these people had a stone carving of, you know, thousands of years ago. But it's a biological PC.
And it's wild. It makes me wonder if we're ever going to... So let me think, the way I want to put this. If something happens to us, are people going to go, you know, when everything's gone, are people going to go, I should carve this in stone so that history... So it's a question of, did they do the stone carvings early in their culture, or after everything failed, and that's the only way they had to record their history?
Right. Yeah, at the end, right.
At the end, because they knew it would last.
Yeah.
Right? Because maybe they had found things early in their culture from the people before, and then the great, whatever the extinction event happened. You know what I mean? But it didn't wipe out everybody, and maybe they started carving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a rabbit hole to go down, isn't it?
Right.
So now we talk about the ether, which is the Greek philosophy and alchemy.
Yeah.
An invisible substance filling space, considered the fifth element. Some ancient texts describe it as the essence of gods, thought to be the medium for light and energy waves, used in alchemy for transmutation theory, influences early scientific and spiritual thought. Modern ether theories connect it to quantum physics, and often linked with Akasha, which is the Hindu element, and used in metaphysical healing practices, supposedly governs the movement of celestial bodies. And something we talked about both times before when we recorded the podcast. So this is talking about, you know, the light and energy waves.
Yeah.
Of all the light waves out there, if you stretched all the different frequencies of light waves from California to New York, we visually see a peanut's worth.
Yeah.
Out of those thousands of miles, we see that much light.
Right. That we can actually see.
And then Bob also brought up the fact of his wrench over there.
Yeah, my
that his wrench
explaining the matrix.
Well, we never have ever seen this wrench.
Yeah, you've never ever seen this. All you see is the photons that reflect off of it. So when you look at this, you're not seeing the wrench. You're seeing the photons of light that are reflected back into your sensor that's built onto your brain, right? So you could trick that sensor into seeing a wrench that isn't even there.
Right. And we've also, which is kind of honestly kind of how holograms work, really.
Right, exactly.
So, and then we also discussed the fact that people see more or less light than other people.
Yeah.
And like what Bob thinks is blue, I might think is yellow.
Exactly.
Because at some point when you're a kid, they hold up a card and said, okay, this color is yellow.
Right.
Or this color is blue. And to me, it's not the same.
Right.
As what Bob
your
sees.
whole life, then you refer back to that reference.
Yep.
So when you see that color, you go, oh, that's orange or that's blue, because you were taught that when you were first able to speak. And if you could take your brain and put it into somebody else's machine, you would look at that and be like, well, that's obviously pink. What have you been talking about? Like, no, that's orange. Like, not to me it isn't. So, yeah. That's crazy.
If you could be able to share consciousness with them.
Oh, yeah.
So you could see through their eyes and then talk to them, and the way they perceive things in the world is
completely different.
Yeah, the way we perceive things in general is different because of the things that we've gone through in our life experience.
Right.
Which kind of brings me down the rabbit hole of AI. Someone said, well, AI isn't really intelligence, it just looks things up. Well, that's what our brains do. Yeah. We go into our memories and look things up, and we create an idea or a concept based on the things that we have seen.
Yeah.
Where artificial intelligence does the same thing. And you make that connection,
and then your processor is fast enough that you just you index that information and then have it right there. Yeah. But then people always say, like, well, the brain is where that's stored at. And you've ever seen somebody who is injured and had a hemisphere removed? They can still, like, there was a guy I saw on TV who graduated college with honors, and he's only has one hemisphere of his brain. So, like, this is a genius, and he only has half a brain. So you're like, well, wait a minute, I thought that you needed the whole thing for storage.
Right.
Then how is this a thing? This guy's only got half a brain, and he just graduated college. Like, I know a lot of people got their whole brain and they're idiots.
That's facts. That's what, I saw something that said if I get angry all the time, they tell me that I need anger management. I only get angry because people are stupid. Can't we get some stupid management going on around here?
Right. So, like these people we still see on the TikTok all the time sharing this pyramid thing.
The pyramid thing, still.
I watched this lady today. She was just like, I mean, out there. Like, and this proves that there were UFOs and this, like, none of that is real.
I saw somebody made a replica of it in Minecraft.
I saw that one. Yeah,
to scale.
And the funny thing is, like, she's like, see, this is what it looks like. And she goes into the entrance, and then the holes for the things are right there. I'm like, did you even look at it? The entrance goes into a thing that goes down a shaft and then comes back to another shaft to the base where these tubules are.
Right.
Like, you would have to walk down several long football-sized hallways to get down to that part. And, no, that's not... That's it.
All right, we've beaten a dead horse.
It hurts my brain.
We've been beating this pyramid thing for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Because we were excited about it, and then we started researching, and we debunked it.
Yeah. So. I actually put a video in our playlist of Italian who watched the press conference that I tried so hard to watch that press conference, and my little translator earbuds can only do one sentence at a time.
Oh, yeah.
So I would watch the sentence, pause it, translate it, play the next sentence, translate it, play. I made it for like 2 hours of that.
Really?
And I was like, I am going to go insane. Like, I couldn't do it. So I linked in our playlist, there's a video from a guy who is Italian and translated the whole thing. His video is only like maybe 40 minutes long.
Nice.
So he tells you everything that they said and all of the slang and all of the meanings and everything. And actually having him watch that for us and tell us what they really said, it's even worse than we thought it was with this.
Really?
Because he said this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Like, the only one who's a legitimate scientist is the Filippo Biondi, that guy.
Right.
The Corrado Malanga guy has no idea what he's talking about. So, and there's another scientist on there, and then there's the lady who is the host of the show.
Right.
And she is a like the Sun. Remember that tabloid, like the Sun?
Oh, yeah. Like the Inquirer kind of thing.
It's worse than the Inquirer. It's like the Bat Boy married by
she's like
Gardner.
Conspiracy theory, like far craziness person. So.
Right. So it's even worse than I thought it was. So if you guys want to follow, it's in our playlist. You can find it. I put both of them in there.
2 episodes back.
I put the unredacted one that it's just the interview, and then the second one is that guy's interpretation of it, and he perfectly encapsulates what happened in there.
So out of the rabbit hole we climb. Lastly, we're on vitalism. This is a Western medical and philosophical thought.
Right.
Belief that living beings have a non-material life force. And this is where it comes into our realm of the paranormal with the hauntings and things like that. So, contrast with machinist views of biology used in early medical theories before modern science, and some vitalists link it to bioelectricity. Homeopathy and naturopathy draw on vitalist ideas, and some compare it to prana and chi. Again, yeah. Rejected by mainstream medicine, but persist in alternative healing associated with the spiritual healing methods. Suggests the soul directs bodily function, and some link it to modern consciousness studies. And that's like I said, that's where we get our idea for hauntings and things like that.
And how a person's influence can imprint onto an object, and then that object is haunted.
Right.
Because it can record that person's energy, and then after they've passed on, then that thing, like my radio or like a mirror or something that they used to fascinate themselves about, constantly stored up that energy, and now it puts it out.
Well, that's why we say libraries are ridiculously haunted. Libraries tend to be crazy over the top
so
haunted.
Much emotion is poured into that book. And
as
then
you read it.
You put that book away and give it back to the library. You're leaving a piece of you in that book.
And then multiple people read the same book.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And it just builds and builds. And now you've got literally a building with 2,000 emotional energy batteries, basically, sitting in it. And things are going to be drawn to it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So, well, guys, that is our 10 theories on energy, life energy.
Right, life energy.
So, like I said, this was the deja vu edition.
So you're getting the condensed, less rabbit hole version of this.
Well, we actually went down some different rabbit holes today. So, but thank you guys for joining us. If you liked our video, please share it. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment. If you have any kind of stories, any paranormal stories, any strange stories, shoot Bob or myself an email. Our emails are at the end, but Bob's is therealveritasproject@gmail.com, and I'm investigator.todd.paranormal@gmail.com. And shoot us your story. Tell us all about it. Get into as much detail as you can get into. We want to hear about it. We will make a whole podcast about it. We've done it once before because somebody gave us a great story.
Somebody gave us a really good story, and we made a whole episode about it.
So if you want to be immortalized in our podcast, we can use your name. We don't have to use your name. Totally up to you. We'll just say somebody sent us this story, and we'll tell the story. So, but get as detailed as you can get, how you felt, like what was the weather like, what time of day, everything that you can remember about the situation. And I do mean everything. The more you send us, the better it is for us. And then we can go back and kind of look through it and kind of dig our teeth into it and get out there to it. Also, we have switched from Teespring.
Yeah, we cut them loose.
We got rid of Teespring. We actually are on, what is the one we're on now?
Printly?
We're on Printly now. So Bob will put up the Printly link in like a week or two.
Getting rid of the Teespring.
We are letting our Patreon members
people get first
access to it. And it's cheaper than Teespring. And actually, the T-shirts with our logo really big on them are like $16.
Yeah, it's prorated by what size you wear.
Yeah.
So the bigger your size, then the more.
The XLs were like $16.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
You can't beat that.
You can't buy a blank Hanes T-shirt for $16.
So if you want some merch, there's cups and tank tops and T-shirts and hoodies and stickers.
We got smaller stickers too because everybody was complaining that I set the sticker to huge.
Oh, okay.
I wanted big stickers, and it just stayed that way. So our stickers were always like 4-inch stickers.
So how big are they now? Like 2-inch?
They're 3x3, I think.
3x3?
Yeah.
I'm thinking we need some little ones, because I have an idea for you that I'm going to run past you. In fact, I'll run it past you right now. So I was thinking for the people that come to the second annual meet and greet, what do you say you and I go together and buy one of those cheaper IR cameras, and then we put a sticker on it, sign it, and have a raffle at the meet and greet.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And they can win an IR camera.
Yeah.
Because they're inexpensive. They're like $30 now. You can catch them for like $30-$40 on sale. So we'll do that. And the only way that our people are going to know is if they watch the podcast.
Right, all the way YouTube. To the end.
Yep. So that's the thought that we could do when I was thinking about that, putting the screen that flips out, put a sticker, and then you sign on one side and I sign on the other,
that'd be
and
fun.
We give it to them. So also, guys, Patreon. If you want to become a Patreon member, the Veritas Project on Patreon. If you become a $5 member, don't forget you get those postcards every month. Angie, Bob's wife, makes them. She's a graphic designer.
Yep.
She does great work, and she actually has them planned out all the way through like August or September already. Yeah. So you will get a postcard signed by Bob and myself every month for being a $5 Patreon member.
They're out in the mail right now.
They're out in the mail. Yep, we just sent them out a few days ago. The Cthulhu Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
So that's there too. We also have a doggone it, our chat channel.
Oh yeah, the Discord.
On Discord. So if you want to join the Discord chat channel, feel free. Discord, the Veritas Project on Discord. You can find us there. Join the chat channel. Every week we normally record these 8 o'clock Saturday on TikTok. We go live and record these, except we had technical difficulties.
We mess it up, and then we do it on Sunday, and then we mess it up, we do it on Monday evening.
And then Bob, usually on Monday mornings, 9 o'clock Central, goes live on TikTok, and he edits, and we chit-chat about things, and it's funny because we always tend to come up with new things that we didn't talk about during the podcast, So there's that. So we got the Patreons. I think we covered everything. And on behalf of the Veritas Project, Bob, Angie, Kay, and myself, we want to thank you for joining us once again on the podcast. And remember,
stay curious
and find the truth, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.